guys, so today I want to talk to you about how to get an agent and how I got my agent. So I've been with my agency for hasn't been too long, about 6 months or so now. But before then I've been actively acting around Portland for about like the last 3 years or so. I would just find jobs on my own, and I'll talk to you guys more about that in a second. So first, I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey and how I got into acting and how I got to the point where I got an agent, and then I'll talk to you guys about how you can get one yourselves. I started acting in 2018. My first thing was Pretty Little Liars: The Perfectionist, and I was background. I've never been on a set before. I didn't know what was going on, but it was a fun experience, and it was for the pilot. They shot that in Portland. They shot the whole thing in Portland, actually. And how I found that was on Facebook, actually. I don't remember exactly how, but I remember coming across like this news thing talking about, you know, they were coming to Portland to film this, and if you were interested, here's how to sign up. I clicked on the link, and it was from Weevil Mountain, and that is a smaller agency here in Portland. They don't really represent anybody, but they give different acting opportunities for not only background actors, but like commercials and stuff like that. They do a lot of castings, I guess. After I was on that set, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted more of it, basically, and I needed to figure out how to. Just the environment, the people, it's so interesting to be on a set, to see how things work, how many people it takes to make it all happen. The days on the set, they're very, very long, but to me they're worth it, and I wouldn't spend my day doing anything else, really. After that, I did a student film for Portland State University, and that was a lot of fun. That was my real acting gig, where I was like a principal actor, and I had my lines that I had to remember, that I got the night before, actually. And I thought that was really good of me to remember my lines without having any acting training, without having any roles ever. In high school I did a little bit of theater, but I mostly did crew, so I helped with like props and stuff like that, but I never done that. I always wanted to be an actor, but it kind of never happened. My mom took us growing up to like Barbizon or something like that, but it was kind of like an acting school kind of thing. I think it's a little bit of a scam, but I can't say for sure because I don't know. But my mom just got a really bad vibe from it because they were asking for money, and we'll talk more about that too in a bit. After I did that small film, I joined a Portland film community, and there's a ton of those here. The film community is really small, and there's a lot of different Facebook pages, so you can even check where you are to see if there's any film community pages. That's a good way to book jobs. So I kept doing little stuff like that here and there as I was working, going to school, whatever, and I just slowly started to build my resume a little bit. I made a lot of different connections with people, other actors. I met some casting directors, and it was just a lot of fun. I had fun building up my resume. And then December of 2020, that's when I really wanted to take acting a little bit more seriously. You know, you have your whole New Year's resolution and all that, so I decided to take acting classes. I was just starting my classes up, and I honestly felt like I was ready for an agent. For a lot of people that might be a little bit too soon, but I just felt like I was ready. The way that I got my agent was I sent in, sorry about the dog barking. It's not my dog, it's my neighbor's. So what I did was there was 3 agencies I was honestly looking at in Portland, and I contacted 2 of them. One of them I kind of talked to before, but they were more interested in modeling, and acting is kind of what I really wanted to do. And one of them that I contacted, they were interested in me, and what they asked for was a monologue and a kind of like a little commercial script that I had to send in. So I had 2 videos that I had to send in. I worked on them as fast as I could. I got them in as fast as I could. I don't really recommend that. And then they liked me. I read over the contracts, I did a Zoom meeting, and I got signed. I will say I think it is a little bit easier for younger kids to get signed because they don't have to have a resume. They're kids, they're starting out, so if you are watching this and you're a parent and your kid wants to get into acting and they are, you know, 12 and under, or even 13, I don't really know where the age line is or whatever, but get them in, let them do it, see if they like it. It's a good way for them to express themselves and a good way to get into the industry early. And now let's talk about how you can get signed by an agency. What I personally recommend is to start as a background actor. And I'm not just saying that because I did it, but I'm telling you that because I think it's really important to get familiar with the set and to know the lingo, to know how the day goes, to meet other actors and crew members. You can learn a lot from each other, honestly, and you can figure out the legit agencies in your area. A lot of people who are background, they also have agents. It's a job to do. It's being on set. I personally, it's not my first choice if I'm being honest, but I don't mind being a background actor. I like it. So you can figure out, you know, different projects coming up that people are working on or agencies that they are represented by. Just do a few background projects, maybe work on a show or something, and like I said, join any Facebook acting groups that you can. It really helps you kind of just stay in touch with what's going on. And when you look at agencies, you can use IMDb Pro. I've used that before. I love it for that stuff. I don't really recommend it too much for finding jobs. I don't think that's the place to do it. There's different sites to find jobs, and we'll talk about that a little bit more too. Let's say you worked as a background actor for a little bit now and you feel like you're ready to book your first job. You don't need an agency right away, I don't think. There's plenty of actors websites out there, like Actors Access. Casting Frontier is a really good one. I use that a lot. My agency actually uses that a lot too. Let's see. There's some for Portland. I don't know if I want to list those because they might not apply to you. I'll put some down below too. You can also always DM me. There's Backstage. I don't really care for that one too much, and IMDb Pro, don't really care for that one too much either. You can even look on Craigslist, just be careful, and Facebook. And then you might be wondering, hey, if I can find all of these jobs by myself, why do I need an agent? Well, agents help you kind of get the jobs that casting directors don't post publicly. Usually casting directors, they want to show the best actors they possibly can, and usually they're represented by agents. So not everybody's going to see those castings. Also, agents really help kind of fight for you in a way. So when you get paid, your agent gets paid. So some people like to think, oh, you work for your agent, or oh, my agent works for me, but I see it as a team. So it's a mutual kind of thing. So they usually get commission, and they take around 10% of what you make from the job. And so they want you to book. So when you get paid, they get paid. Oh, I also want to say this before I go. You should never have to pay an agent money. Like I said, when you make money, they make money. They usually take around 10%. Don't pay anybody, run away, don't do it. And then that kind of goes into being professional. So you maybe got some smaller jobs together, you got some background work together, and you started acting classes. Now you kind of have a package in a way. I would also recommend getting headshots. They don't have to be super expensive. If you know someone with a DSLR, or maybe just a photographer getting into taking headshots, I would contact them. Or if you want to, invest in yourself and get nice headshots, which I do recommend. So you got your package together and you found your agencies that you want to submit to. There's a few different ways that you can do it. I would go to their website and go to their contact form to see if they have a form for you to fill out, and then they will contact you. Or you can email them directly. Sometimes they get, a ton of emails. And if you're going to do it that way, I would send in a self-tape of like a monologue or something that you've done. You can do mail, so like snail mail, and send it in with like your headshot or your comp card or whatever, and your resume, and why you want to work with them or whatever. I recommend the first way. That's the way that I did it, and they have that contact form on their website for a reason, in my opinion. To be a little bit more credible as well, you can also ask your acting coach or acting teacher to use them, basically to CC them. My acting teacher is okay with that. He says he'll be honest, so make sure that you're ready before you ask them to vouch for you, because if they vouch for you, they're putting themselves on the line. And once you get your agent, you're kind of ready to rock and roll. You do want to keep your headshots updated, so if you get a new hairstyle, or you cut your hair, or piercings, anything, you want to get a new headshot. Usually you want to get them about annually, unless your look doesn't really change, then save your coins and don't do that. Also, tattoos and piercings, they can interfere with bookings a lot. I will be honest and say that. So when I take my headshot, I take my nose ring out. I have a little shoulder flower that I'm actually debating on getting removed because of that. And now you're ready to go on set. So going on set, you want to be as professional as possible. Your agent is counting on you. They put you out there. You're not only representing yourself, but you're representing them. And if a casting director is like, what the heck, this person's not ready, or they were super unprofessional, or they showed up late, that agency is just going to get a bad reputation, and they might drop you from their roster. Also, if you're not booking quite often, it's not really your fault, but if it's something that is probably your fault or that they can fault you for, they also might drop you. I also want to say that you can still do smaller jobs around too if you want to just help out a friend and stuff. Just because you have an agent doesn't mean you can't work on smaller films. Lastly, I just want to say, keep your skills sharp. Continue taking acting classes. It's kind of like a sport, you know. You want to stay in shape. You want to be training all season long. If you don't use it, you lose it, kind of. And there's so much to learn all the time. There's so many different acting methods. If you work with an acting teacher that will help coach you over auditions, that's great. I do recommend getting coached on auditions. To me, it's a big deal, so I want to do as good as I can and book whatever it is that I'm trying to book. So I basically, sorry, my camera died, but I just want to end this by saying, you got this, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. My DMs on anything really. I usually use Instagram, but my DMs are always open. You can leave a comment down below. I don't mind making another video or just contacting you directly. I have some fun projects coming up myself. I don't know if you can see that director's chair in the back, but I'm going to be directing and starring in my own film at the end of May. I'm really excited about that. It's really stressful, actually. I have so much going on right now, but I got this, you got this. Let's get this together. So yeah, that's basically my tips on how to get an agent and how I got my agent. So if you want more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. If you like this video, like it so I can know that this is the kind of content that people want to see. And yeah, that's it. Bye. See you next video.